Good afternoon and welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Vivek Ayan and with me today is Ekta Batra. Hi Ekta. A day where you're actually seeing quite a lot of weakness, especially as far as the broader end of the markets are concerned. The mid-cap index, the small-cap index aren't doing very well. In fact, the small-cap index is underperforming and the market breadth, especially in the broader end of the markets, is extremely weak.
Hi Vivek, yes absolutely, and the advance decline ratio also is extremely dismal at this point in time. Just to put it into perspective, on the National Stock Exchange, only 600 stocks advancing and around 1800 stocks declining. So that's the kind of ratio that we're dealing with, 1:3 in today's trading session. But these are our top stories this afternoon. Stocks near the day's low, FMCG, metals and private banks see big cuts, mid-caps underperform.
Oberoi Realty surges over 4% after reporting strong Q2 numbers. Margin surges 930 basis points on a year-on-year basis, while booking value was higher than estimates. Morgan Stanley issues equal weight rating with a target price of 1,900 rupees a share.
RBL Bank falls by nearly 14% after second quarter numbers reflect pain in the unsecured credit segment. Net interest margins come in at a 5-quarter low, while return ratios are the weakest in 11 quarters.
PNC Infra hits 20% low circuit after Ministry of Road Transport and Highways disqualifies the company and two of its subsidiaries from tender participation for a year on the back of a CBI FIR and charge sheet. Company says there will be no impact on ongoing development and construction activities.
India Mart is trading 17% lower after a disappointing set of second quarter numbers. Collection growth dipped sharply to 5% from double-digit growth earlier, while paid subscriber growth also did not bounce. Management says they got caught on the wrong foot with respect to collections in the quarter.
Welcome once again to Midcap Radar. What you're actually seeing as far as the markets are concerned is that the earnings reactions to specific companies' results is extremely strong, and in fact, when you're seeing at some of the moves, it's quite exaggerated. Case in point, like we just mentioned, RBL Bank, it's a slightly muted set of numbers. Commentary coming in from the management was quite weak, but the stock today has seen a fall of over 15%. It's recovered slightly from the day's lowest point, down 14% now. But this is our special segment, Midcap Movers. Hormaz is standing by the wall to take us through all of the midcaps that are moving around in the session.
It's the day of the extremes, as you just pointed out, right? Good earnings doing okay-ish, but not so good earnings are not having that kind of liberty. They are getting hammered left, right and center. And starting off with all of these negative earnings reactions that are taking place today within the broader markets, and there are plenty of them. And you start off with RBL Bank, as you just mentioned. India Mart is now down 18% after that downgrade as well that came in from Jefferies after the second quarter results. RBL Bank down 14%, Jindal Saw down 7.5%, Rosari Biotech down 4.5%, MRPL as well. There are plenty of such negative earnings reactions, but positive earnings reactions are few and far in between. Tejas Networks at one point of time was up 20%, but now has cooled off, still holding on to gains of around 8%, but still significantly off the highs of the day. Oberoi Realty and Netweb too, now down to the lowest point of the day, but still holding on to gains after its results. Stocks that are doing well on the back of, there's some metal stocks that are not doing well in today's session. That is one sectoral loser. Jindal Stainless is down 6%, but Hindustan Copper, NMDC, APL Apollo all down to the lowest point of the day. And lastly, stocks that are doing well on the back of very strong volumes. Tata Chemicals now is up 10.5%. Amber Enterprises ahead of results is up 13% in today's session. Another holding company, Tata Investment, up 6%, and CRISIL continuing to move higher after its results, 4.5% higher on very strong volumes. Back to you guys.
Okay, all right, Hormuz, thanks very much for that. So that's what's taking place in terms of the broader markets at this point in time. We do have Vinay Rajani from HDFC Securities joining in to discuss what he's tracking on the technicals this afternoon. Vinay, hi, welcome to the show. Well, it's definitely a sluggish market. The mid-caps are down quite sharply, and, we have the advance decline ratio weak. What's your reading in that?
Yeah, good afternoon and thanks for having me on the show. So So yes, the way stocks are moving today, advanced decline ratio, as you guys have been discussing, it has been very negative, and 1:3 is the advanced decline ratio. And choppiness is there in many stocks because of the anticipation of the good results. Stocks have already run up, and after breakouts, follow-ups are not coming. That's a main concern for the market. So the way they are moving, I think one should remain cautious in mid-cap and small-cap segment. For last 2-3 months, we have seen that mid-cap and micro-cap and small-cap indices have outperformed the benchmark indices like Nifty and Bank Nifty. But the way right now scenario is emerging, right, we think that one should remain cautious in the market. Choppiness is expected because of the results. Stock specific moves would be there on the either side, but the way negative reactions can be seen in many stocks, even small negative news is giving big reaction towards the negative side. So that's a concern, and the breadth is deteriorating day by day. And the small cap index, Nifty small cap index yesterday hit a low of 18,600 odd level. So if that is breached, then we can see us momentum selling coming again. So I think this is the time one should remain cautious in the market, especially looking at the small cap and mid cap moves. And as far as Nifty is concerned, we are giving a clear view to our clients that if Nifty breaks 24,600 level, then one should exit the long positions, because overall bearish head and shoulder pattern can be seen on the charts. So this is the support 24,600 in the Nifty. If that gets breached in the coming days, one should exit the trading long position. And in mid cap, small cap also, we are recommending our clients to remain cautious.
Vinay, what are your recommendations for the day? Any buy or sells that you're giving us?
So basically, I would suggest ignoring any mid cap or small cap right now. But yes, if market consolidates here and gives some support, then L&T is from the large cap space is looking good to me, which has remained resilient in last 4-5 sessions. So L&T from the infra space looks good, can be bought around 3,600. 50 rupees stop loss, I would suggest a small stop loss, because market is not in favor. So if that gets triggered, one should get out. And on the higher side, 3,680 should be the trading target. On the sell side, if somebody wants to trade on the short side, then I would recommend going short in BHEL October future, BHEL, which has breached the 200 days average and has been making lower top, lower bottoms. So BHEL is looking weak. October future can be shorted here. Around 252 should be the stop loss. On the downside, we can expect a target of 241. So these are the recommendations from my side for the short term.
Okay, all right, Vinay, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and giving us all of those stocks which are in focus. Well, for the markets, the Bank Nifty is down around 95 odd points. Overall, it's a weak day. And remember that this weak day comes at a time where the US markets did have a stronger close on Friday. So the markets didn't really take away any positive global cues. So that's what's taking place, probably earnings worry and maybe some amount of FII, continuous FII selling is weighing on the markets. We'll take a short break, but up next, Manisha Gupta will be talking to Shashi Kumar of Phoenix Mills in an exclusive conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, let's now cut across to Manisha Gupta in conversation with Shashi Kumar, the President and Retail Director of Phoenix Mills.
Well, thank you for that. I'm standing in front of a 48-feet majestic kandil behind me, and that tells you it's festival season. Joining me, as you said, is Mr. Shashi Kumar. He's President and Retail Director at the Phoenix Mills. Shashi, hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And a huge installation all across Phoenix Mills. How has the festival season been for you?
It's been great to start with. I think there's a lot of euphemism around this place. Of course, just a small correction, it's not 48, it's 52 feet. A grand lantern, the India lantern, which we say. It's just coinciding with our 15th year anniversary, which is also very special for us. And it being the 15th year anniversary, we want to be more touch upon our tradition and our culture. So that's the decor theme this time. And so when we take this opportunity to wish our customers, shoppers, a happy Diwali and festivity season.
Thank you, Shashi, for that. How was the last quarter, and is this quarter an improvement upon that?
The last quarter across India has been a little sluggish. So we have seen sluggish in some portion of our shopping categories. But there are certain categories which have grown, which we have seen, like for example, jewelry, we have seen a growth comparatively from last quarter to this year quarter. But overall, yes, there are reasons for that, because in a mall environment, multiplex plays an important role. Multiplex has a rub-off on the F&B cluster, and in this center particularly, we have a very strong F&B offering. So this time, because of not much of good releases, bumper releases, so we were a little deprived of that factor. Across India, that's the same story.
So, as you said, luxury is done better than the normal lower price tickets, is what you're saying. Jewelry comes into a higher luxury. Would you say watches have done well, or other big brands have done well?
See, as a category, luxury has been a little sluggish because we have, in the last 1 year we have seen some competitions coming up, particularly in South Mumbai. But otherwise, it's very encouraging though. There are certain brands in luxury, bridge to luxury, which have grown, which have been outlier, and certain categories specifically, few of them are not doing well, as in compared to what was last year.
So when you look at Phoenix Mills, what would you say has been the best markets within India? Would you say Delhi, Bombay, the metros do well? How are you looking at the tier 2, tier 3 cities as well?
See, tier 2, tier 3 is definitely very encouraging for us because that's the next consumption story for India across. And Phoenix, rightfully so, we are focusing there in terms of our developments, in terms of our, even from an operations centers, we are giving more emphasis towards the finer element of the customer experience and the efficiency and churn leasing and aspect of where we can leverage the larger growth story. But to answer your question, yes, Bombay, being Mumbai being the commercial center of India, and we being in the South Bombay, to a large extent we are like a check dam. So we are benefited by the location.
So Delhi 1, Bombay 2, what is the third biggest market for you?
Bangalore. Bangalore is the biggest market, even as good as even Chandigarh for that matter.
Are you looking to extend lease here? How have the rentals been for you for this place also?
See, fortunately, our rentals has been very strong. Kudos to our leasing and leasing strategies and leasing approaches, which Phoenix is known for that, and that has defined our centers. And it is leasing which defines the product also. So we've been exceptionally good in that, and we have achieved. And so we have seen the targets what we have said we are largely achieved, closer to 90, 99, 100%, I would say.
Going forward, are you looking to increase land space here? Are you looking to add in more brands?
For sure, particularly this center, down the line 2 years, 3 years, will go major change in terms of the number of square feet, by sheer square feet getting added. As I'm speaking, by another month or couple of months' time, we'll be launching another 2.5 lakhs of Palladium Annex, which is in the other part of this center. So you have brands like, which, international standards of Uniqlo is all opening along with us.
Across India, is there plans to expand similar way?
Yes, of course. And, we have acquired properties in Coimbatore as well as in Chandigarh. So idea is that, and focus is that also, because that's the way organically we can grow.
Shashi, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a lowdown, of course, on festivities, the kind of decorations, and of course, expansion plans for Phoenix as well across India. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Manisha, for joining us with a snippet of how exactly retail trends are panning out as far as the festive season is concerned. Moving forward, a small programming note as we slip into a short break. As we prepare to ring in the festivities this Diwali, tune into CNBC-TV18 at 3 p.m. on the 29th of October to hear out the biggest of the market voices giving their tips on how you can make your portfolio prosper this Diwali.
Welcome back. Well, that is the Civil Aviation Minister K Raman Naidu. He is holding a press conference, probably talking about the recent bomb hoaxes which have taken place across flights in India. So let's cut across and see what he has to say.
So that is why we are taking their support. एक तो वो मुंबई पुलिस ने जो पकड़ा था, that was a very prank this thing. He had some issue with another friend of his, तो उसके लिए इसने कर दिया था. तो वो है अभी cases investigation में.
सर ये जो lawful act जो अपने suppression of unlawful act का कहता है amendment, इसमें क्या-क्या major point आप लोग लाने की कोशिश करें, थोड़ा बताएं.
इसमें majorly जो है ये ऑफेंस जो है वो इन फ्लाइट वाले उस सिचुएशन को ध्यान में रखते हुए उसमें सारे ऑफेंसेस का लिस्ट किया गया। तो हम उसमें ऐड करेंगे जो ऑन ग्राउंड या फिर एयरपोर्ट के पास भी जो फ्लाइट हैं उसके ऊपर भी ऐसे थ्रेट्स आते हैं, तो उसको भी कैसे डील करना है, कॉग्निजेबल कैसे बनाना है, उसको हम स्पेसिफिकली ऐड करेंगे। तो इन फ्लाइट था, अभी ऑन ग्राउंड को भी ऐड करेंगे।
एयर पैसेंजर्स की एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम रही सर कि फेस्टिव सीजन में जो एयर फेयर बहुत बढ़ जाते हैं।
नहीं, उसका आप देखिए, उसका बहुत कम हो गया अभी। वो पहले ही जिस दिन मैं मंत्री बना था उसके बाद ये पार्लियामेंट में इसी का चर्चा बहुत ज़्यादा हुई थी, तो हमने एयरलाइंस को बुलाया, उनको सेंसिटिवाइज किया कि बार बार ऐसा इशू हो रहा है, तो इस बार ना आने के जो भी आपको उसके ऊपर कदम लेने पड़ेंगे उसको लीजिए। तो दे हैव डन इट एंड वी हैवंट रिसीव्ड एनी कंप्लेंट्स रिगार्डिंग दैट। स्पेशली आप देखिए, एक दिन में आप जब भी लेते हो तो उसके हिसाब से एयर ट्रैवल एयर फेयर का एक सिस्टम रहता है, डायनेमिक एयर फेयर सिस्टम, वो मार्केट के ऊपर एक दिन का अभी देखोगे वो डिमांड के हिसाब से वो होता है, जैसे जैसे डिमांड बढ़ता जाएगा उसका। तो आर सोल्यूशन हैज बीन टू वे, वन इज सेंसिटिवाइजिंग द एयरलाइंस पीपल ऑल्सो टू बी प्रोएक्टिवली डीलिंग विद दिस सिचुएशन। एज वी आर गेटिंग मोर प्लेन्स, ज़्यादा प्लेन्स अभी आते हैं, ज़्यादा प्लेन उस रूट में ट्रैवल करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली डिमांड के हिसाब से सप्लाई भी बढ़ेगा तो प्राइस कम होगा। तो दोनों तरफ से हम उसको एड्रेस कर रहे हैं।
सर बिहार में जैसे छठ पूजा आमतौर पर देखा जाता है कि
हाँ, वो स्पेसिफिकली
बिल्कुल बहुत ज्यादा किराया हो जाता है।
हाँ, तो वो होता है, एक स्पेसिफिक सिचुएशन एक आ जाए या स्पेसिफिक ओकेजन कुछ आ जाए, वो डिमांड के हिसाब से जैसे जैसे डिमांड बढ़ेगा वो फॉर्मूला के हिसाब से वो प्राइस बढ़ते जाएंगे। बट अदरवाइज इफ इट इज नॉर्मल तौर पे सारे अफोर्डेबल प्राइसेस ही हैं।
सर एक सवाल उड़ान को लेके है, जैसे दरभंगा पे बड़ी एसेट है, लेकिन दरभंगा के लोगों का जो दिल्ली से या जहाँ से भी ट्रैवल करते हैं उनका ये कहना है कि जिस तरीके से डिमांड है उस तरीके से एयरक्राफ्ट नहीं बढ़ रही। सेकंड इस हिंडन एयरपोर्ट का है तो वहाँ पर नहीं चल पा रहा है, उसका क्या रीजन है? क्या हिंडन में आगे फिर दरभंगा में भी कहना है कि एयरफेयर ज्यादा है जबकि उड़ान में कम होना चाहिए, बेगूसराय से भी डिमांड आ रही है कि वहाँ भी उड़ान में करें, तो इसको लेके क्या करें?
दरभंगा एक बहुत बड़ा सक्सेस स्टोरी है और जिस तरह से वहाँ डिमांड बढ़ा है वो काफ़ी अप्रिशिएट करने वाला है कि वहाँ पे इतना डिमांड था, उसके हिसाब से हमने एयरपोर्ट बनाए। अभी 70 फ्लाइट तक वहाँ से शुरू हो गए, तो अभी आरसीएस में नहीं है, फिर भी अभी मोर फ्लाइट्स कनेक्टिविटी वहाँ पे देने का हम भी प्रयास कर रहे हैं। तो जैसे जैसे कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ेगा प्राइसेस भी वहाँ पे कम होंगे। और हिंडन एयरपोर्ट पे अभी पूरे देश से ATR जो हैं वहाँ पे आ रहे हैं, वहाँ पे भी सारी सुविधाएं उनके मिल रही है। तो वहाँ पे भी अगर कुछ कनेक्टिविटी का इशू है तो ज़रूर हमारे मंत्रालय से हम देखेंगे।
Okay, so that is the Civil Aviation Minister talking about the recent bomb hoaxes which have taken place, over around 20 plus bomb hoaxes just and for 6 days consecutively is what we've seen. But nonetheless, he has said that they are repetitive and they are hoax threats. They are looking into it. They're thinking of amending aircraft security rules, and they'll probably put the perpetrator, on the no-fly list. So that'll be important to sort of watch out for. He also did allude to dynamic pricing and that there will be more planes which will come on board, and that should probably change the pricing structure a little bit. But nonetheless, let's now let's go across to Abhishek, who is here to tell us about RBL Bank, which is seeing a double-digit loss today.
Ekta, to begin with, the unsecured portfolio deterioration of asset quality weighed on the performance of RBL Bank. Take a look at the net interest margin. It's declined more than 60 basis points on a sequential basis to 5.04% versus 5.67% in the previous quarter. It's at 5-quarter low with respect to net interest margin. Now, slippages were elevated. They came in at 1,026 crore versus 720 crore in the previous quarter, up more than 42% on a sequential basis. A 12-quarter high with respect to quarterly slippage that they have recorded. Annualized slippage ratio is elevated at 4.67% versus 3.3% in the previous quarter, and this is at an 8-quarter high. So the asset quality did deteriorate. Gross NPA ratio inched up to 2.9% versus 2.7% in the previous quarter, and this impacted their return ratios. Now the return ratios or ROE was already in the single digit. It further deteriorated. So their ROA and ROE, that is return on asset and return on equity, is perhaps at an 11-quarter low. Citi has written on RBL Bank. They have a buy recommendation. However, they have cut the target price to 255 from 281 that they had earlier. They said that factoring in the unsecured stress, net interest margin pressure and lower than guided growth, they have cut their earnings estimate between 15%, 12% and 9% over the next couple of years. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Abhishek. A whole host of EPS cuts are coming in for RBL Bank, and that is keeping the stock under pressure. But that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid Cap Radar. Your stocks when we return.